You can really see in these open cockpit cars where exactly the driver is looking. 5-second board is out then, and for our Race Pass 750 4-minute championship, it's eyes on the lights. The lights go out. One of the starts, like it's a great start, an initial great launch there from the number 9 of Richard Jenkins. He does move himself up into 5th place, but the leaders are side by side at this moment in time. Peter Bove on the outside, and he does take into the lead. Then Bill Cowley has to tuck into that little bit of a toe as we head our way through towards Coppice. So a good start from Peter Bove. He moves himself into the lead.
And he's there, but Bill Cowley dives up the inside into the second part of Charlie's. I don't think we've seen that pass this weekend. He grabs the lead away from Peter Bove once more. As I hope that that car really slippery through the air, had good straight line speed, and it looked like David Bartholomew was going to get the third position back again from Mark Glover, but the field worked their way through the right-hander at Park Corner, where Bill Cowley leads the way after that phenomenal move up the inside of the second part of Charlie's to take the lead away from Peter Bove, who's there in second. Glover still third, so he did keep Bartholomew at bay. Richard Jenkins is up next, who started well. He's there in 5th spot, just ahead of Steve Boover, who completes the top 6. It's Bill Cowley who leads, with Peter Bove chasing him.
He took that lead right back, didn't he? Over with you, Josh, but he now leads the way, heading and climbing up the mountain now. The number 77, Bill Cowley, trying to now try and break away from this one. Seeing there the number 11 of Raymond Barley as well, seeing if he can try and make a few moves at the early stages of this race, as our leaders now make their way towards the back end of the circuit, out of sight for the moment, but definitely not out of mind for Bill Cowley, as he looked to take that position then through in towards Charlie's, and he's built a little bit of a gap now between himself and Peter Bove. He crosses the line to lead the first lap. David Bartholomew here is closing and Mark Glover moves to the left-hand side of the track. Goes Bartholomew up the inside, and he's going to take that position. He'll take 3rd place, heading our way in towards Coppice there. He moves himself ahead of Mark Glover. Meanwhile, the number 63 of Dave Hodkin is almost trying to negotiate his way through. I think he's got his way past Byron Walter, and up now into the 14th place. And he starts to put it near the back of the grid after probably qualifying for Dave Hodkin. So he is progressing. That's the green car. He's going down the park straight now. That's really being headed by James Johnson. He's also got Chris Goff in there, who's been had so many podiums over the years. So he's quite much further down than what we tend to expect from him. But up front, Bill Cowley's going away. He's always so strong in these first parts of the races, and he's pulling away from Peter Bove. Probably aware that David Bartholomew he expects to be pretty quick, and Cowley trying to make the gap early on, as Peter Bove now has David Bartholomew very much closing him down for second. Yeah, he really does now at the bottom of the mountain there. He's got to have his rear view mirrors filled with a bit of David Bartholomew, will Peter Bove, as they'll make their way through in towards the mountain there, and leaders making their way through towards the likes of the Hall Bends and towards the hairpin as well, as there's a very familiar yellow machine. There's the number 63 moving up another place. Dave Hodkin moving his way up the order, and as you said, really trying to make up for the qualifying he had. He's just gone past Chris Goff, so that should be a position for 13th place if it hasn't been jumbled up already. David Bartholomew though is closing in on Peter Bove. Bove goes for a slightly defensive line. Bartholomew thought about moving up the inside, but I think he's just filling the mirrors there of Bove as they make their way through and across the line.
And making their way through Charlie's now, then Peter Bove still hanging on to 2nd place. David Bartholomew though, that car's through in a straight line. Peter Bove has got the great big rear wing on it. Does mean it's a bit draggy, and Peter Bartholomew in the toe, then pulls to the right hand side of the circuit and eases into 2nd position ahead of Peter Bove. Bartholomew in the fastest lap of the race as well. I think there's 7.3. But he's also landing quicker than Bill Cowley. The gap's over 3 seconds at the moment. But now Bartholomew's ahead of Peter Bove in a second. And he's looking to chase down the race leader, Bill Cowley, the double winner last time out of Brands Hatch. He turns into Mansfield. Second, Bartholomew. Third is Bove. Fourth, not all the way too far as Mark Glover. Then quite a big gap has emerged between him and the 5th place car of Richard Jenkins, who's under threat from Steve Boover. Then another bit of a battle going on for 7th, which is between Raymond Bardi, who likes to be known as Ian, so Ian Bardi, and Matthew Unwin battling for 7th place.
Yeah, absolutely. With David Bartholomew getting his way past Peter Bove, he's managed to find his way up the position there, and looking to now, as you say, challenge for the lead. He's been lapping quicker than our race leader Bill Cowley, so he's really looking to try and make good on that one. Meanwhile as well, Dave Hodkins still trying to get positions up here. He's being challenged though as well by the number 42 car, Andrew Kemp, in that Race Kids Falcon, as we now make our way towards the back end of the circuit. And what are the lap times like? Well, Bill Cowley's actually lapped 2/10 quicker than David Bartholomew on that last time around, so the gap is now 3.6 seconds. Having a look here, Steve Boover is trying to close in now on Richard Jenkins as they now make their way up in towards Compass here, and that's a battle for 6th place.
Let's have a look at that then, into Charlie's corner. Richard Jenkins, who made a decent start, but Steve Boover coming back at him pretty well now. They come out of Charlie's corner and down the park straight. Steve Boover then in the Darvi, he's had a better goal as 15th. Richard Jenkins had a better goal as 17th. He's both going well in the battle for his 6th place, heading up towards Park Corner. Already coming back down the hill in towards Mansfield is the race leader Bill Cowley, who's mentioned there, still going quickly and keeping that gap there for over David Bartholomew. So the top 4 quite spread out now. Cowley, Bartholomew, Bove and Glover. Back to the 5th through the gooseneck, and it's still Richard Jenkins keeping Steve Boover at bay. There's Ian Bardi in 7th, starting to put a bit of space between himself and Matthew Unwin. A good battle for 9th now, because Dave Hodkin, who's continuing to progress through from the back of the grid, has caught Hugh Davies. So this is a good drive we've seen from Dave Hodkin, who hasn't done that much racing in recent seasons. He's going to gain another place down towards the mountain.
Well, there he goes in. He gets the line then and moves himself up a position, and as you say, past the number 21 of Hugh Davies then, as he makes his way up to the top of the mountain. Bill Cowley comes across the line to start the 5th lap worth of racing, and he's still quicker than Dave Bartholomew at this moment in time. About 3/10 quicker on that last occasion. The gap's just shy of 4 seconds as they crossed the line last time around. He's doing a good job of holding on to that lead from David Bartholomew. Then it's Peter Bove in 3rd place. Mark Glover is 4th. Steve Boover now into 5th place ahead of Richard Jenkins. And Ian Barley now just under a bit of pressure from Matthew Unwin. Meanwhile, the 42 car of Andrew Kemp is looking to see if he can find a way past Hugh Davis. Now he's got the inside line going in towards Coppice, and it looks like he had that move done.
And Andrew Kemp, much like Dave Hodgkin, started from near the back of the grid. They're both progressing well. Hodgkin's already caught the next two, and he's already getting up alongside the head of Matthew Unwin. That's another place for Dave Hodgkin as he passes the Matthew Unwin-driven Race Kids Falcon. Next on his list will be Ian Barley in his similar car. So this will be a good effort from Dave Hodgkin if he can get 7th. He has good pace. He's quicker than everyone up until the top 4. So there's more positions, I think, to be gained for Dave Hodgkin. He's turning through the gooseneck. He's got past Ian Barley as well now. So he's into 7th, and Andrew Kemp chasing those down as well, just behind. So plenty of positional changes behind the top 6 here.
Yeah, he is indeed. And I've just seen safety car has been deployed. Safety car's left its station then. So we have a safety car deployed, so the race will be neutralised. Bill Cowley will come across the line first, and it will be David Bartholomew in 2nd place. And well, with that safety car, I wonder if Bill Cowley's going to be looking over his shoulder, because he was doing a good job at building that gap between himself and David Bartholomew. It was 4 seconds, but now that's going to be absolutely wiped out. And I think David Bartholomew's eyes have just widened very, very slightly, because now he's got a real chance towards the end of this race to see if he can mount a challenge against Bill Cowley.
I wouldn't think, anyway, by these slow laps behind the safety car. He's weaving about, trying to build some temperature into his tyres for this 1 lap dash to the flag.
1 lap dash to the flag. And Bill Cowley, as you said, just trying to get some last-minute heat into the tyres. And with the safety car, it went away with a bit of pace as well. Bill Cowley is looking to try and see if he can get a bit of pace as well, as he'll make his way through the hairpin and through Barn. The safety car is now pulling into the pit lane now, and it's got to get over the line here. Bill Cowley's gone for it, and that's quite a sizable gap he's got against David Bartholomew. Green flag is waved. away. Final lap of this race then, and we make our way onwards we go. Bill Cowley's got a fantastic gap, but there goes the 63 of Dave Hodkin up the inside of Richard Jenkins, and he's got a position there. He's now up into 6th place. Meanwhile, then the 42 of Andrew Kemp is trying to find a way past Matthew Unwin, which he does in towards the first corner.
Great restart that from Bill Cowley. Got a margin over David Bartholomew, but while he won't be able to challenge at the end of the straight, Dave Hodkin, he mentioned he got past Richard Jenkins, but he's getting past this Boomer as well now on the run up towards the right-hander at Park Corner. He's gone through. So Hodkin's got up to 6th, where we thought he might be able to get to. Presumably, nothing more than that is going to be possible though, but it's a good drive this from Dave Hodkin. That is for sure, but Bill Cowley pushing on up over the curve, coming out of the gooseneck. For third position, Peter Pope started to come under threat from Mark Glover, but Bill Cowley on his way, looking set to take his 3rd win of the season.
He is indeed, as he makes his way to the bottom of the mountain. Well, I'll tell you what, this has been a heck of a lap for David Bartholomew to try and close back up and see if he can mount a challenge as well up the mountain. Peter Bove is keeping Mark Glover at bay. That'll help his championship standings in the long run. But the leaders now make their way onwards towards the back end of the circuit with Bill Cowley absolutely nailing that restart there. He'll make his way through in towards the final corner. He'll emerge out of barn any moment now onto the start-finish straight. Here comes Bill Cowley then, and he will take the checkered flag, take the victory here in the first of 2 races for the Race Part 750 Formula Championship. But David Bartholomew not too far behind. It's Peter Bove who rounds off the podium with Mark Glover in 4th place. That's a great race as well for the number 63 of Dave Hodkin. He comes across the line to finish in 5th place, having to start from way down the order. Fantastic race for Dave Hodkin. Steve Boother is in 6th place with Richard Jenkins in 7th. Andrew Kemp is in 8th place overall with 9th place going the way of Ian Barley in the number 11, and 10th place the number 39 of Matthew Unwin. In that Class B battle, Hugh Davis won it out. He finished 11th overall, but won that Class B category with Jake Doherty just finishing behind him there by about 5-6 tenths of a second there. Well, a last lap charge, and that was a perfectly timed restart there from Bill Cowley. Built up that gap, and even though David Bartholomew managed to close that in by nearly a second, Bill Cowley keeping up on the restart to make sure he wasn't caught.
Yeah, so that all shows you how important that restart was for Bill Cowley, doesn't it? Because Bartholomew had the pace to challenge if he were close enough, but obviously that wasn't the case. Obviously Cowley dropped back from the safety car, I think, so he could get a good run through the last corner, and he timed that to perfection. So great stuff there from Bill Cowley, a 3rd win of the season, and after the disasters of Silverstone, very much bringing his championship campaign into position. Early stages in this championship, we've only had the 4 races before now, so where most of the other championships are halfway distance, heading into the second half here at Cadwell Park. The 750 Formula Championship more second half of the season heavy, but nevertheless a great drive there from Bill Cowley, and meant we didn't really get the back race that we may have expected. That could come though later, because we have another 750 Formula race this afternoon. And yeah, really excellent stuff there from Bill Cowley. Peter Bove continuing his podium runs. So he's been on the podium in every race this season. He's the only person who has been able to do that. We'll see these cars out again right towards the end of the day. Up next though, we head sort of back in the history of 750 Formula with the older cars, which will be taking part in the Race Parts Historic 750 Formula Series, which will be up in a few moments' time.
They will indeed, and once their cars make their way out onto the track, we shall bring you the grid and how they line up.